Welcome back, guys, to Trash Films Home Video. Today I have another review. We're going to be talking about Umberto Lenzi's Hitcher in the Dark. This was released by Vinegar Syndrome. This is brand new. It was strange when I heard the announcement for this. I had just been thinking, man, somebody really needs to release Hitcher in the Dark. It has not gotten a decent release since the Shriek Show release on DVD, which I got rid of that thing years ago. So I don't even really know if it was a decent release, to be honest. Probably wasn't, knowing Shriek Show. So anyway, let me get this. I always keep these in these protective cases, which, if anybody wants to know where to get these, I get these off of eBay, and they fit the Vinegar Syndrome slipcases like perfectly. They have them for steel books. They have them for slipcase. They have two different slipcase versions. They have big ones. They have little. They have them for video games. They have them for everything. So if anybody wants to know where I'm getting them, but anyway, let's just take a look first at the slipcase. So you've got, like, I don't know if it's going to show up, but his glasses are like glossy. Yeah, you can see it there. This is like a gloss. Obviously this is embossed. The back I've got to, like, I mean, you can't really see, but I'll cover it. That's the back. Obviously the spine. And then on the inside, I'm gonna have to open this up. Well, this is this cover. I don't know why I chose this one. There's the back there. Because this is kind of the classic artwork. I don't know why. I guess maybe I have seen this artwork so much over the years. The artwork itself is fairly famous, in my opinion. But this one, I don't know, it gave me like a VHS vibe. Also kind of like a, I don't know. It's definitely interesting artwork, but there's just something about it that I like. I don't know. You know what? I'm just gonna pop it up real quick. Woo. Okay, so there's the artwork. Hitcher in the Dark. This is an Umberto Lenzi film, or as he's monikered in this film, Humphrey Humbert. Of all the names to choose to pseudonym under, Humphrey Humbert. That's an interesting one. From 1989. It's a pretty, plot-wise, it's fairly simple. You've got Mark Glazer, who is this spoiled, rich white boy who is in his RV, and we are introduced to him via the aftermath of one of his pickups. So it's a girl who's just been murdered, and he's taking photographs of her. I'm sorry, this is disgusting. I'm picking out sleep from my eyes because it's like 8:45 a.m. But it's the aftermath. He's taking photographs of her. He then dumps her in this swamp area, and then he's on to his next. So he is stalking this girl who, Daniela, who we are introduced via in the commentary, they kind of laugh at it, and when this scene comes up, it is quite laughable. He pulls up on this campground, and there's a group of people standing in sort of a semicircle, listening to one of the most god-awful songs you've ever heard, out of a boombox, and our next victim, Daniela, is in the middle of this semicircle, dancing, just dancing, as the crowd just like cheers her on. It's the weirdest, most awkward, and one of the dumbest sequences I've ever seen. Anyway, Mark is watching her. He wears these mirrored aviator sunglasses, and he ends up picking her up. We come to find out that he has picked Daniela because he feels like she looks like his mother, who left him when he was like 10 years old, never to return, which she does not look like his mother, but he feels that she does. And this is the reason that he picked her up. And there's sort of after that a cat and mouse game of she escapes, she gets caught again, she escapes, gets caught again. It's a pretty simple plot. The thing that I find interesting about this movie is that I remember watching this for the very first time about 15 years ago, and I remember it being so much more unsettling. I remember it being sort of one of those Italian exploitation movies that made me feel a little uncomfortable. And that just didn't happen this time around. Not that it's not without its exploitive elements, but in all honesty, it's a fairly tame movie. He calls her a lot of bad names throughout the movie. He smacks her here and there, but there's really no... it is sexually, like, perverse, I guess you would say, in certain ways, but there's no, like, actual sexual perversity shown as much on screen as you would sort of think for one of these movies. It's just interesting how, and I was trying to think back last night, like, gosh, had I just not seen much of this stuff? But I remember picking up Hitcher in the Dark because I had seen other Lenzi films, and I know I had seen Cannibal Ferox, which, in my opinion, is one of the meanest exploitation movies I've ever seen. I actually consider it, like, for me personally, a little bit harder to watch than Cannibal Holocaust. And I think that's because you can tell it's just a straight-up exploitation movie. It is not made... There's no underlying theme to it. It's just mean and nasty to be mean and nasty. But yeah, it's actually a fairly tame thriller. There's not a whole lot of nasty bits in the movie. There's no forced forced rape, or there's no, I don't know why I said forced rape, but there's no rape or really forced much of anything. I mean, honestly, for most of the movie, he doesn't even keep her like shackled or tied up. I mean, he does certain instances, but she's pretty loose like the whole movie, except for certain times. Now, there is a portion of the film that gets a little bit more serious and a little bit more nasty, but even then, it's still not. If you have seen a lot of these movies, if you've seen a lot of Italian exploitation, this is one that is not that bad. I enjoy the movie. I didn't enjoy it as much as I did when I first saw it. which I don't know what that says about me, because I just got finished saying that it felt much more unsettling. I guess it had more of an impact at that time than it does now. And I'm not sure if that's just, like I said, that I'm desensitized, or that maybe, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I definitely enjoy the film. It is not what you expect. You do kind of expect this sort of stalk and slash, especially after the opening scene where we see, literally, it's the aftermath, a dead body, a girl's throat is slashed. We sort of expect that to be the film. He's gonna go, he's gonna stalk girls, he's gonna pick them up, he's gonna kill them, he's gonna dispose of them. At one point somebody will get wise to what he's doing, but that doesn't happen. It's much more of a psychological thing. He has definitely got a sort of a Norman Bates-ish vibe to him. He's a messed up guy. He does not come across as scary. He comes off very like tiny and nerdy and extremely spoiled. That is what you get most out of this guy. You don't get scary. You don't get dangerous. I guess you get dangerous sort of in a sense of like he's so psychologically messed up that you don't really know where this guy's gonna go. But he's much more of just this spoiled little brat. There's a scene where he gets pulled over by police, and he's just assaulted this girl. He's just assaulted Daniela. He quickly ties her up, handcuffs her, and she had just stabbed him in the shoulder with a fork. So he gets out of the RV and he's like, how can I help you, officers? They're like, what happened there? What's going on? Or they said, why are you just sitting here? He's like, I don't know. They're like, what? Something happened? And he's like, yeah, I was cleaning my spear gun. I scratched myself. And they pull him to the front of the car. They get his license out. They're like, Glazer, hey, is your dad blah, blah, blah? And he's like, yep, that's my dad. And he's like, oh, man, your dad's I've seen him on TV. He must have a lot of money. Well, you have a good day. Like, it's very much like, there's that privilege for you. Like, they just let his ass go. Scratched myself cleaning my spear gun. Okay. But yeah, he does not come off very scary, just very spoiled. I definitely, anybody that's a fan of Italian cinema, anybody that's Italian genre cinema, anybody that's a fan of Lenzi, I would recommend this. I do like this film. I think it's quite interesting. I think it's kind of a departure from what maybe a lot of people would expect from Lenzi or just Italian exploitation in general. But it is a good watch, and it definitely is something for collectors of either Lenzi or Italian exploitation. Now the film itself, initially when it pops up, this is from Vinegar Syndrome, so initially I'm just expecting pristine, beautiful, and it's a little muddy during the title sequence, but clears up after that. That just probably had to do with the fact that the beginning portion of the film element was rough. It looks great. It is a little bit grainier, at least in my opinion, than some of their other stuff, but it is crisp, it's clear, it looks really, really good, and I guarantee it's night and fucking day to that Shriek Show DVD. If any of you old fogies out there remember Shriek Show, they were not known for great transfers. Also, it was DVD, so the movie looks great. Oh, I got my glasses here. Features-wise, there's not a whole lot. We get an archival interview with Lenzi. This is from the Shriek Show DVD, so it's not going to look very good. It's pretty short. He just talks about the casting very quickly, and he talks about the ending, how he had to change the ending, which he didn't like. And when you hear what the original ending was going to be, I agree. I think it should have been left. He should have been allowed to do what he wanted to do, because what he talks about is a little bit different than the scene before the end. It'll make sense when you watch the special features. He talks about the actor and actress who played Mark and Daniela. We also get a commentary track with Sam Deanan and Kat Ellinger, which, if anybody has heard their commentaries before, they're very entertaining. This one, they don't spend a whole lot of time talking about the movie itself. They spend a lot of time talking just about Lenzi, his career. They defend him a lot. They talk a lot about Joe D'Amato. They talk about Sergio Martino. They don't really talk about the film itself until there's a point where the tone of the movie gets a little bit more serious. This was that part that I'm talking about. That's when they start sort of focusing in on the actual film. But it's a good commentary track, full of lots of nice information, and yeah, highly enjoyable. And that is all we really get besides the theatrical trailer. So we've got a commentary and a very short archival interview and a trailer. So, sorry, I'm a phlegmy person. So not a whole lot on this release. I don't know that I've ever seen that before. A little bit. I don't know if you can see it, but there's the title on the inside of the slipcover. Never seen that before. It's just part of the printing process, but interesting. Whatever. Anyway, not a whole lot special features wise. Again, the commentary is pretty interesting if you like commentary tracks, which I do. But overall, good movie. Really nice release. Again, from Vinegar Syndrome. I mean, you know, did they ever let us down really with the transfer? No. Do they ever let us down with special features? Sometimes. The movies themselves, obviously, sometimes there's a little bit of turds here and there when it comes to what Vinegar Syndrome releases. But the package is always amazing. So yeah, I would definitely recommend picking this up if you haven't. Very nice movie. Very nice release from Vinegar Syndrome. And that's all I got. That's Hitcher in the Dark from Vinegar Syndrome. Like I said, I plan on doing like a little collection journey video if anybody's interested in that. If you are interested in the finding out where the slipcovers are, just let me know. I'll send you a link. And that's it. Till next time, guys. Thanks.